Hey, guys, welcome back. It is time to look at another incident. We have another incident with the Japanese market with another Japanese seller, at least someone that is using the Japanese marketplace as a way to scam people. It's not a surprise. As we always have seen and will see, when there's money in something, when there's extra money in something, when money flows into something, you're going to have a lot of shady business going on. And whether it's the Japanese market, the English market, doesn't matter what it is. We saw the scams and whams in 2021. Hopefully a lot of that is kind of filters off as the market cools off and returns to normal. I know people don't want to hear that that Pokemon is not dead. Scarlet and Violet is not dead. It's just normal. This is what it's like when it's not 2021. I'm aware that a lot of people got in at 2021, so maybe they're not aware of what that feels like, that no one necessarily, that you can buy product, that it doesn't double, triple, whatever in price in a month. New sealed product should be very available at the price that it is. We have game stores that are used to, at this point, just spamming numbers into whatever they can get from their distributor, whatever they want to attempt to order, and usually getting a small fraction of whatever that is. But when it goes back to normal, you should be getting the amount of boxes that you ask for or very close to it. So there's some adjustment to be made there. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of stores, a lot of people that are like, we got to dump everything. We got to absolutely dump it. But what has me a little bit baffled is the fact that the Japanese market is still pretty out of control. And we're going to take a look at that right now. I will ask, I made a post on Twitter requesting information. If you guys receive anything that's resealed, whether it's the SR that's taken out of your box, whether it's rocks in there, whether it's juice boxes, protein milk, whatever they might put in there instead of what it's actually supposed to be, I do request that you reach out to me. You can send me either reply to that tweet, send me a DM on the Twitter, or send me a DM on Discord. And if there's ever anything urgent, hopefully someday we'll get some sort of like ticket system and something set up to more easily sift through the many messages that I have. But on the Discord, join the Discord if you haven't joined the Discord. Going to be compiling a list of people to avoid purchasing from. At this point in time, I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot buy sealed product from Mercari. You cannot buy it from Yahoo Japan. It's just not a good option. I think Amazon Japan is a little bit safer. I mean, if you're getting it directly from Amazon Japan or the Pokemon Center, then like you're in good shape. But it's very hard to do so in this day and age. We'll take a look at the prices a little bit too. But first off, we're going to thank Poke Deals and Nerd Danny here for this post that's on screen here, this tweet that's on screen here. She says, I just got sent a DM about tampered cases someone bought. I've been hearing about this new scam, so I want to share it. So hopefully you can all avoid it. Rattle Pokemon, please help spread awareness if you can. I will absolutely do so. Thank you for taking me on this. Thank you for making as many people aware as possible. I'm going to make this video, but also we're going to compile the list of Japanese sellers to avoid in the Discord. It'll have its own dedicated, it does have its own dedicated channel. But also, yes, if you're looking to purchase stuff, and you're like, maybe I should buy it from Mercari. Maybe I should buy it from Yahoo Japan. Join the Discord and just ask in general chat, and we can like give you a little slap across the face, wake you up, splash some cold water on you, and say, no, don't do that. You're gonna get something resealed. Well, you might get something resealed. It's not worth the risk. I mean, you're still paying like an inflated price, and you're either gonna get rocks, potentially either get rocks, the SR is gonna be removed, whatever it is. Again, it's my opinion that I think that anyone that's looking to collect this Japanese stuff, sure, if you want to like overpay and open some of it, by all means, do it. I did it in 2021. I think Vivid Voltage, I paid a lot for a booster box just because I wanted to open a booster box. And I knew I was wasting money because it would be reprinted. There would be some available someday. That it's just kind of how it works. Now, whether or not the Japanese, I would have figured at this point in time that they would have ramped up printing to the point that there was no longer this like flipper opportunity, but apparently not. So whether that's like limitations on their capacity or whether or not they think that's sort of something that will just go away after a certain amount of time, I don't know. Anything in the Japanese market, anything that's inflated like that, little bit dangerous on the end of if you're trying to financially make smart decisions. Not that opening boxes is ever at least it's almost never a good idea financially. Unless you really enjoy it, then you're just spending money to enjoy what you're enjoying. But don't expect to get that money back, at least not in the short term. Recently, Japanese sellers of Pokemon cases on Mercari and other Japan-based marketplaces have been asking buyers to comment their interest before purchase. What they are doing is looking for proxy services like Buyee and Zen Market to comment so they can sell only to international buyers their tampered cases. So that's the thing too. I have a link down below, a Buyee link down below. I believe now instead of being an amount 2,000 yen off your first purchase, it's now 10% off. Yes, Buyee it's safe. Buyee is safe. Now, who you choose to buy through, who you get Buyee to buy for you, because they're a proxy service. They're essentially like a middleman. If you can't buy something in Japan because it doesn't sell outside of Japan, then you gotta get the point here. So you can't blame Buyee. You got to be very aware. You got to be, it's a good tool. It's an awesome tool to have. It's an awesome tool to know how to use, but you got to be careful who you're getting them to buy from, because with something like a Mercari, like a Yahoo Japan, there's no way for them to retrieve the funds for you, essentially, is what we're dealing with here. So be very careful. I'm surprised that a lot of this stuff makes it through customs. It's kind of weird if it's like liquids or something, but I mean, it could be that they're just like not looking into what actually is in the packaging itself. But now we have rocks. We have rocks. The person who reached out to me received rocks in their booster boxes. The reason they target international buyers is because these proxy services don't offer you a money-back guarantee on your product, so the seller has no repercussions for doing this BS. So same thing with the reseals where they take the SR out. I don't know if maybe they're also hoping that the buyer doesn't realize that there's supposed to be an SR, like one SR per box, very consistently and almost perfectly every time, all the time. But yeah, and then we have the serial numbers on the flaps. So we'll take a quick look through the videos that are made on this kind of stuff. But you got to be very careful. Not only is like their money flowing into this stuff and incentive for them to scam that way, but there's also a lot of people, international buyers that are buying Japanese cards that don't know or don't have the means to be purchasing this stuff. And there's also the fact that like there's probably a lot of people sitting on sealed stuff that's got rocks in it, or it's got drinks in it, or it's got different cards, or it's got the SRs removed. It is. I do not envy Japanese collectors at the moment. It is an absolute mess out there. And yeah, essentially, unless you're getting it from someone that's like opened some of the case and can confirm that the rest of the case is good, you got to do a lot of extra steps, a lot of extra precautions if you're keeping sealed stuff, because you don't want to hold that stuff for 10 years. It's crazy expensive, and then you open it and it's rocks. Like that's some dangerous stuff. I'm going to attach photos below of what to look out for, but I highly advise you not to purchase cases from Japan. Yeah, whether it's cases or individual boxes, it's bad. You cannot buy sealed product from Mercari. You can't buy it from Yahoo Japan at the moment. Now, Amazon, as far as I'm aware, easier for them if you use a proxy service through Amazon Japan, easier for them to get the money back. But that's the thing. You'd have to open something in order to find out whether it's legit or not, unless you're getting it direct. I would suggest people just enter the lotteries for like the Amazon and the Pokemon Center. With the Pokemon Center one, I believe you need a Tenzo account at the very least, or something similar where you have a mailbox. You can't just use Buyee for that. But yeah, and if you can't get it outside of that, if you can buy it somewhere where you can get your money back, whether it's an eBay or something like that. But if you're buying it, even if you're buying it on eBay from Japan, you're gonna have to open it. Essentially, it kind of is what it is. They probably have the rocks weighed out so that they're the appropriate weight. I mean, if you shake this around, I don't know. They got it in like packaging, so maybe you can't shake it around and tell. I'd like to shake a rock box to see what's going on here. So here we have, they either state in the listings title or in the bio, you need to comment purchase, huge red flag. So yeah, I guess this is like they're using this as a tool to find out who they should scam or shouldn't scam. in terms of like international buyers. I don't know if maybe it's like a vengeance thing, like a hey, stop buying our stuff, or maybe just a essentially like a we can't be affected by this. I will be forwarding any and all information for anyone that's doing these repacks to the authorities. Since we got scammed here on the channel, I do have some contacts now that I can send this stuff to, which hopefully will crack down whether or not the platforms can crack down on these people that are doing this. We can hope for the best, and hopefully they're prosecuted. There's no excuse for this. Again, if they're doing the Japanese card thing, they're already probably making a ton of money. So to like open it, probably sell the singles, and then also like send people rocks. It's just greedy. It's just nonsense that doesn't need to happen. And these sellers hide themselves behind a good rating. The only thing they ask you to comment on is the tampered stuff that international buyers can't even rate. So they rack up good ratings by selling cheap $1 to $2 non-TCG items within Japan, and then sell international buyers the old repack-a-ronies. Oh my god! So they've sold a ton of these cases, and yeah, they're probably all rocks. I can't imagine that they're just doing it with some and not others. These are probably all rock cases. Now, how many people? Hopefully, anyone that received these out there realizes this. Again, reach out to me if you purchase these or from anyone else with the sketchy stuff here. Here's a different seller who has in his title. Which means comment required. So they're trying to sell $4,000 plus of tampered goods. Yeah, pretty much. What else do we have? We had something else here that I want to touch on. Okay, here we have Kleza108, who says they are abusing the 1 yen quick sale image product to fabricate a rating. And here on this tweet says, when checking the seller's feedback on Yahoo auctions, make sure that the seller is not adding to the good feedback by using 1 yen quick sale image. A 1 yen quick sale image is an item with a price of 1 yen, and the seller claims that the image is the item as it is. So again, they're just abusing the feedback system. So yes, you gotta make sure you're looking in to the actual the seller itself. But again, I don't know. I would just straight up stay away from Mercari and Yahoo Japan for the time being. Maybe if you're getting singles or something like that, again, even with that, you need to be careful, because there's a lot of listings that'll be like, oh, selling my collection. I mean, it's the same thing on eBay, same thing anywhere else, Marketplace and whatever, where you have people that will make a listing look like an old collection or something like that, but it's really just them constantly selling Pokemon cards and like putting some good stuff on the top, and the rest is just absolute garbage. So you got to be careful with all of this stuff, guys. You're putting money into something, you got to be careful. Yes, you can take some risks, but know what the risks are, know what you're looking at. Yeah. So here we have it. It's impossible to determine whether Japanese people are doing it or foreigners are doing it via Japanese services. That's the thing too. But I mean, the Japanese market is bad. She's bad news right now, guys. And again, if you can, I would probably just turn to buying singles. If you're gonna buy boxes, buy it. At least use a method where you can get your money back. Make sure you're checking to make. If there's not an SR in it, it's bad news. Check your little numbers, serial numbers on the packs themselves, on the little flap. Now, yes, there's been a ton of this recently. I think maybe just as much as English. I'm not really sure, but we got a lot here. I actually received some resealed boxes, and yes, they were added to the list of shitty sellers that is located on the Discord. You join the Discord. We'll see if we can build that channel up. That channel. Make sure that there's a nice little list there. But again, I don't know. I just wouldn't personally. If it was me, I wouldn't be touching anything Mercari or Yahoo Japan in terms of sealed product, because you're not protected. It's a bad scenario that can happen. I don't know what I'd be doing exactly. I think I would just not be opening Japanese if I didn't have a channel. If I was collecting Japanese and just trying to get the most bang for my buck, maybe you buy a box, open that up for scratch the itch, but then just kind of complete the set with singles if that's what you're going for, that kind of thing, or buy the cards that you want if you just want select cards from any of those individual sets. That's always the best way to go. So we had counterfeits, we had resealed boxes, we have very inflated prices, we have counterfeit cards, the two sold scam. Again, there's also an eBay block list. So if you have anyone, any of those people that are, pulling off any of this junk, any of the counterfeits, any of the stuff on eBay itself, there's an eBay block list, suggested block list on the Discord as well. So you can give that a click. You can copy paste that. You can even, there's a link in there. You can even just copy paste it into your own eBay, whether you're a buyer or seller, especially if you're a seller. You're gonna wanna do that. And we got Japanese Pokemon cards in 2023. So just the lineups galore, crazy stuff. We have more resealed EV heroes. We have fake cards, fake slabs. We have wrong packs. Oh, this is the one with the protein milk and the orange juice or whatever they were putting in there instead of cards. Wild that, like, I guess it was the closest thing that fits, and maybe it's close to the same weight, but again, you got to be very careful with this stuff. Please, guys, please be careful. Yes, you should be using Buy. Yes, there is a link down below that can save you 10% off your first order, but you got to be careful. If you're not sure what you're doing, you can reach out to me. You can either type in the Discord general chat for some advice. If people can't give it to you there, the best way to get it from me would be to join the happy hour on Saturdays. We do have voice and video chat in the Discord. And if you're looking to make your first purchase on there, if you're not comfortable with it, we can give you some little pointers in there on what to buy. So we got the seller here. You cannot purchase from the seller. Of course, we can't. Now we got the Japanese name here. We can see what they're selling at the moment, but we can see what they sold here. If we go on to, so this is through Buy. So through Buy, you can buy from many places, even some that are not listed if you use the Buy extension. But remember, guys, a lot of people are like, oh my God, Buy is scamming me. No, Buy is not scamming you. You have to get Buy to buy from someone else. If someone else scams you and Buy isn't able to get a refund, you're probably not getting a refund. So that's the danger. You have to know what you're doing if you're buying from Japan. It's kind of what it is. If not, yes, you can buy from sellers in the US that bought from Japan, but you're probably going to be paying a little extra on that. The only thing is you got to know which sites to use, which sites to buy from, or which items to buy from, which are safer than other items. So yes, there is inherent risk. Anything Mercari, anything Yahoo Japan, auction, shopping. But yeah, that's the moral of the story here. If you don't know what you're doing, learn what you're doing. If you can't learn, or you can't figure out what you're doing, or you have more questions, reach out, join the happy hour, and I'll do my best to walk you through what the best course of action is. Now, all right, here we have the seller, the perp. This is the one that sold the rocks, and yeah, it looks like they sold a lot of rocks. They got some Pokemon Center tote bags. I'm assuming they actually sent the tote bags. But the cases here, probably all rocks. It's a lot of rocks. It's a lot of dollars that people spent on rocks. Some of them, man, I feel for anyone that received rocks, but I also feel for anyone that doesn't realize that they received rocks, and maybe in the future they open that up, it's rocks, or they sell a box, or they sell the case, and then the person's like, hey, you sold me rocks, and they didn't know that all this time they had money tied up in rocks. So let's translate to English. There we go. We got Yamato with the, I feel like I've seen the seller before. Say, nice to meet you. A total of more than 1,000 transactions have been made on Mercari, Yahoo auctions, etc. So there you go. You can see where they're selling. We mainly sell cartons purchased at card shops and wholesalers. Thank you. So odds are it's probably the seller that's doing it. Again, if they bought the rocks from someone else, I would be very surprised. Where they're asking for the comments, they're probably, again, vetting to make sure that you're buying from a proxy service, that you're buying from outside the country, and that you won't be protected. And then maybe they feel safe in that the proxy service won't pursue anything with them. So I'm going to be compiling that information, handing it over to law enforcement, because clearly it's against the law to sell people rocks when you're saying that it's a case full of Pokemon cards. And if they've done this to enough people, if they're a repeat offender, and we send everything over there, hopefully some action is taken. Hopefully this stuff gets cracked down on. Regardless. Now, little reminder for anyone that's buying Japanese sealed product at the moment, please be careful. You could be shafting yourself monetarily. This is the regular price. I have to show people this all the time, and it blows their absolute mind. With the regular boxes here, we're looking at like 5,400 yen, 4,500 yen, something like that. So like these ones here that say available by invitation, you're gonna want to sign up for those. This is Amazon Japan, by the way, guys. So these available by invitation, you're gonna want to sign up for those. That is going to be one of the cheapest ways for you to get product. No, you're not always going to get an invitation to buy, but yes, you can potentially get an invitation to buy. Same with the Pokemon Center Japan. If you don't know how to do this, learn how to do this. It's going to be the best way to acquire product. It's not reliable, but it's the best way to acquire product. And yes, this is more close to what the real price, what the price should be. Back in the day, I know this sounds wild for a lot of the new Japanese collectors or new collectors in general, but back in the day, it wasn't a thing. There wasn't $100, $200 new Japanese Pokemon booster boxes. It was an affordable option that people usually went to if they wanted to save money. If they didn't care if it was in English or Japanese, typically they would buy the Japanese stuff. It was budget friendly. Whether it was singles, whether it was the boxes or whatever. This day and age, not so much. So that's where we're going to get into issues here. And for anyone that's wondering, the price on that is actually the 5,412 yen in USD at the moment is $37. So your booster box that you're spending, $100, $200 on, it's a $37 booster box. Yes, you're going to have to pay for shipping and like import fees if you live somewhere where there's import fees, stuff like that. Yes, of course. You're going to have to pay a little buy fee or whatever to get it delivered, to get it to you. There could be some additional expenses, but for the most part, that's kind of what we're looking at. That's the baseline here. Wild. Absolutely wild, the amount that these boxes are going for at the moment. And that's why I'm kind of telling you guys that there is a huge issue here. I don't know how it's solved other than the Pokemon company in Japan actually just finding a way to print way more of this product. It's pretty much what it comes down to. So again, be careful. Be careful buying this stuff. Again, it's hard to say if they're going to reprint a lot of this stuff as hard as they need to. But again, if you're buying sealed product, you got to be so careful. And if you're not 100% very sure, and maybe you got to buy multiple boxes from the same place, and you open one and keep one sealed or something like that, or buy from someone that has a case that many of the boxes have been opened, and you just want to get one of the boxes from one of those cases, or if you can trace it back to, okay, this is coming straight from reputable source, going straight from Pokemon Company, reputable source, to whoever you're buying from. You got to do your research. You got to make sure, because you don't want to be sitting on sealed product that's going to screw you over later. I think it's better to find out earlier maybe than later. But when you're purchasing, make sure you got to protect yourself. The same way I say, if you're dealing with an amount of money that is important to you, which, I mean, when people are buying a full case of this, or even a few boxes, it adds up pretty quick. It ends up being a lot of money for most people. You gotta be paying in a way that you can protect yourself. The same with the goods and services thing. If people don't want to provide or sell you something with goods and services, even if you offer to pay the fees, which usually, if it's a lot of money, it's worth it. It's worth your time, worth your effort. Unless you're buying, you got to be buying from like the pinnacle of all reputable people before you even consider the friends and family thing. Unless you're actually friends or family with this person and you trust them. Like, it's wild. It's wild out there, guys. Protect yourselves. Protect each other. Please do reach out with any incidences. If you do receive any of this resealed stuff or tampered with stuff from Japan, please do let me know. I will happily add them to the block list. I guess not block list, the warning list, with the reason, the receipts, all that kind of thing. So if you're using a proxy, make sure that you're taking notes of what you bought from who, and then follow it from there. So I'll have to look into it a little bit more to see if the I'm assuming that like if you go through Buy E and you purchase from Amazon Japan, sometimes you can purchase directly from Amazon Japan, that you're much more likely to be able to get a refund if you get something bad. But at the same time, you have to know that it's bad, so it might require opening it or opening all or some of it and find out that way. But terrible stuff. Hate to see it. And I feel for you Japanese collectors, sealed, especially the people that want the sealed product. It's an absolute disaster. All right, take care. That's enough trailing on here. Have a good one. Join the Discord.